Our next speaker is Chato Wany. He was born in South Kurdistan and graduated from the Economic Sciences University in Baghdad in 1993. He's vice president and co-founder of Kurdish House, a nonpartisan and nonprofit organization whose mission, among others, is to bring Kurds living in Toronto and the GTA, regardless of origin, under one roof, and to encourage partnerships with other organizations and community groups on the basis of mutual understanding and democracy.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer of this great event, and just to show what's going on in the region, in the Middle East region. Thanks again to the organizers, especially to Elena. I will try my best to cut my speech as short as possible because it's Sunday evening and everybody got to go back to work tomorrow. My speech, I will start with a sentence my grandfather used to tell me. He was a former Peshmerga. Peshmerga is a freedom fighter in Kurdistan, in 4 parts of Kurdistan. He used to tell me, in order to defeat your enemy, you must know him very well. That's why my speech is about ISIL, who is ISIL, how it got created, and what they want. It's 3 parts. My speech is about 3 parts. First of all, the structure of ISIL, sorry. Mistakenly, lots of people call it ISIS. It is ISIL. It's a Islamic State in Iraq and Levant. Ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to bring to your attention what exactly geographical definition of Levant means. Levant means 4 countries: Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, and State of Israel. Number 5th state is Iraq. ISIL trying to spread his caliphate state, terrorist state, into these 5 countries. The beginning of the foundation of this terrorist organization goes back in 2006 after the American invaded Iraq in 2003. A Jordanian terrorist, former Al-Qaeda, member of Al-Qaeda, he came to Iraq and started this organization under the name of Al-Qaeda in Mesopotamia. This organization have emerged with some Iraq, Saddam Hussein's government, Ba'athist intelligence and military commanders. They have joined al-Zarqawi to create this organization, but it didn't take too long for the Americans to hunt down al-Zarqawi. After that, an Iraqi citizen, another terrorist, took over the leadership of that organization and changed the name to Iraqi Islamic State. Luckily, it didn't take too long. His name was Abu Umar al-Baghdadi. It didn't take too long for the Americans to hunt him down. After a while, a 3rd terrorist figure under the name of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, he took over this evil organization and start his terrorist activities against the Iraqis in general. Made no difference between any sectarian religion or nationality background. But what he did after that is he moved his activities to Syria, taking advantage of disability of security and political situation in that country, and start his activities under a new name called ISIL. The reason I'm focusing on the name of ISIL, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring to our Jewish Israeli friends attention to this word. The danger is knocking on your door, ladies and gentlemen. In order to fight this terrorist, immoral organization, We must stand united against this brutal organization. Now, the second part is the goal of this terrorist organization is based on two main ideologies. Number one, it's Islamic terrorist ideology. I will not be political, diplomatical correct about this. It is Islamic terrorist ideology. I repeat it, it's Islamic terrorist ideology. Number two, it's based on Arab fascism ideology. As I said earlier, it is the top aides to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi are the former intelligence Iraqi Ba'athist party members. They run the show for him. Based on these ideologies, this organization is fighting, trying to destroy and wipe up every non-Muslim, every non-Arab, every non-Sunni groups of people in Iraq and Syria and in the region. Therefore, you can't tell who ISIL is against. ISIL is against all these people I mentioned, non-Muslim, non-Arab, non-Sunni groups. Unfortunately, the aggression starts against the Christians in Iraq. They start bombing their churches, killing their people, kidnapping their women and children and innocent people. But the aggression did not stop there. The genocide of Yazidis started after. Ladies and gentlemen, Yazidis is the oldest religion, believes in the region, and I could tell you in the world. I'm not Yazidi, but I have great respect for Yazidi people. I do have great friends among them, and I know how they suffer and what they suffer from. Now we know the structure and the goal of this terrorist organization. The conclusion is what we do in order to defeat this enemy. As you all know, nowadays, the only force is fighting ISIL on the ground and the war front as long as 1,500 kilometers, starting from city of Kobani in western Kurdistan, all the way to the city of Jalala in southeastern of Kurdistan. Kurdish fighters are resisting up to today. Kurdish fighters presented by Peshmerga forces, YPG forces, and YPJ forces. I would like to focus on YPJ forces, ladies and gentlemen. It means Women Protection Units. Women showed a great resistance against these terrorists. Kurdish women told the world that we can fight the terrorism just as good, if it's not better, just as good as any man, any freedom lover in this world. How far the Kurdish fighters can continue resisting this terrorism? I understand that humanitarian assistance is very necessary to refugees, to the people in that region that suffer from this aggression. But if we really want to solve this problem from the roots, we need some other assistance that's more effective, more important than humanitarian assistance. The assistance we need in that region is to back up the Kurdish fighters all the way from Kobani all the way to Jalala city in southern Kurdistan. It's not only by sending them a simple and easy weapons. They need a heavy military support in order to defeat ISIL. And that's why I would like to invite my Jewish, in particular, Jewish Israeli friends, to inform their government, the Israeli government in Tel Aviv, that we need to do this fight together. We need to stand shoulder by shoulder, united, to defeat ISIL. We also would like to tell the Canadian government we thank them for all the support, for all the military and humanitarian aid, but we can always do more in order to solve this problem from the roots, and also talk to the Erbil government and KRG and tell them they must be in full cooperation with Tel Aviv and Ottawa government in order to succeed and defeat the immoral ISIL. Thanks very much.